Welcome to another devlog where I will go over the most recent changes. So just really quickly, oops, I gotta move my face here. So the random hoop generator has some new features, and what this says is that the original hoop generator is titled Spawn Rings Basic, so if you use that button, it will do the same thing it did originally, which is delete all the objects except for the reset location in the cams, and then it will regenerate. Regenerate all new hoops, and there will only be hoops out in open space. So the new hoop generator has I forgot to put it in here, but it will check to see if there's any objects where the new object is going to spawn. If the spawn location, which is only a single point, is inside of another object, then it'll try to find a new object. And if it does that a number of times, specifically 500, and it can't find one, then it'll just skip that object. So if you try to spawn very large objects in a very small space, it'll spawn one, then it won't be able to find another place to spawn another one, and it'll skip them all. But you can randomly spawn regular obstacles like asteroids or cylinders and stuff, and then you can store existing, and then when you click store existing, it'll go through, it'll save all the objects in that stored existing, and then you can choose one or multiple styles of hoop and spawn maybe a small number of each one, or a whole bunch of one, and then those will all be spawned on top of that. And then if you want to save all your asteroids but respawn the hoops, then you just click restore existing, and then you can click spawn rings additive on your hoops again. So if I just go here to play the game, so I've added some hint buttons on the main menu and also in the random generator test. So for example, the primary gameplay is from the vehicles menu. So here you come here to the vehicles menu, and then each vehicle has its own menu, and then you can load into a gameplay scene right here. So here you can press M to enter object placer mode, which is titled space mode, and then you can press F to place an object, or press F3 to open the object menu while in object placer mode. So here I'm coming into the random hoop generator test, and you can see that to access the generator, you press backslash to pause and click the hoop generator button. So here I'm paused now, and you can see the random hoop generator button. And so I have some hints around here. If I move my face, you can see down here set to hide and seek. That will automatically set the race type to hide and seek, which will allow you to fly through the hoops in any order and from any direction to checkpoint the hoops. So here I'll click hide and seek is now set at the race type. And then over here you can see I have spawn rings basic, and then if I click the hint button, it'll tells me that using spawn rings basic will delete all spawned objects except for the reset location. To spawn rings on top of already placed objects, first store existing objects so that you are not stuck with the first random spawn, and then press spawn rings additive. So here's store existing objects and restore existing objects. Now one time when I did this, my reset location disappeared, and so did a bunch of the other objects. So I'm not sure where that happened in there, but there may be some bugs with the reset location, and in addition to that, it may be possible that even though it's trying not to spawn overlapping, it may spawn so that the reset location is inside of another object, and I can show you that pretty easily. So I'll select this one right here, which is what I managed to do it on, and if I just spawn rings additive, and then go back into the game, and then I'll just try to fly around here, and you can see that now there are these objects right here, and there should be 5 of them, but there may not be, because they're kind of big, and because the spawn area is small. There's another one over there. It looks like I have all 5. So here's these random objects. You can see my reset location is still here. So let me try again. Let me do that again. Let me see if I got more. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Definitely, I definitely got more. I'll try to fly out a little ways and see if I can get a better view. Or better yet, I'll enter space mode. And I can move around a little more quickly. So now you can see I have a bunch of these objects right here. And because it's in small, then the distance is all close together. If you go to medium or large, then it'll be a larger spread, so you can have larger objects. And the reset location is conveniently not occupied. Oh, it is overlapped a little bit. So you can end up with the reset location fully on the inside of a big object, because the spawn location here is actually where this glow is. So it'll check to make sure this isn't inside of something, but if this part is inside of something, then it doesn't know that. It's just going to spawn it. So there's going to be, here you have an example of some overlap. But that's okay, because I want this amount of overlap. The overlap checker is actually for the checkpoints, so that the center of the hoop is still accessible when it tries to spawn them. So then I'm going to go back in here. I'm going to store the existing objects. Alright, let me check. Make sure my reset location is still there, and it is. So that's lucky. Yep, right where it was. So now I can select a hoop that I want to generate, and I've been generating this one. So it's still in a small area. I'm going to generate 5 hoops. So what I can actually do is I can generate 5 of these, and then I can select this one and generate 5 of these, and they'll all be added to race. If you're going to play hide and seek, which is on right now, then you can go through them in any order. But if you're going to play any of the other race types, there will be an order to it. So if you don't want the race to be all 5 of these and then all 5 of these, what you'll have to do is lower this number down to like 1 or 2, and spawn like 1 or 2 of those, and then go back and spawn 1 or 2 of those, and then go back over here and spawn 1 or 2 of those. I was thinking about making it so you can select more than one object, like over here, so like select object 1, select object 2, select, and then maybe it'll mix it up automatically. But I didn't get to that right now, and I'm not in a hurry to do that one in particular. There's some other things I'd rather do, like work on the campaign creator and importing and exporting campaigns and stuff like that. And manually doing it might actually be kind of fun, because, you know. So anyways, so then you go to the ring you want to generate. You spawn rings additive. And I'm going to go back and return to the game. And let me go back to space mode here and see if I can find any of these rings. Oh, there's 1. There's 2. So it only tries 500 times to place a hoop, and so if you have too many objects, even though you see all this free space right here, you could randomly 500 times wind up trying to spawn it inside of one of these objects, and then it'll just skip that object. I had to do that because it would just get stuck in an infinite loop, and you basically would crash the computer. You would crash the game, but then you could never close the game, because it would just be stuck in an infinite loop. So I put a limit. I put 500. I could lengthen that out to like 1,000 and see if it fixes this a little bit, but basically in this case you could actually just decide to add some more and see if you get them. Well, actually, quickly, let's just make sure that we're we're seeing things correctly here. If I begin the race, yeah, sure enough, there's only 2. Okay, so in the race. So, but you can try again. Oh, I only spawned 2. That's why there's only 2. But that still applies. If you have too much stuff around and it tries all those times and it doesn't get one, so now there's going to hopefully be 8. And there should still be a reset location, which there is, so everything is working. Just one time it was really wacky, it deleted a bunch of stuff, which may happen to you. It's not the code, it's some other thing where I'd have to overcome a limitation. Alright, so now, yep, there's a whole bunch more. And so it's in hide and seek, so when I begin the race, all of these will light up at once. Let me get to a position, because you can't begin the race in space mode. So I begin the race, and if I wanted to have it automatically begin me at the reset location with a timer, then I can timer on reset with countdown. Okay, so I can go ahead and set that. And now if I restart, it'll work. Yeah, so now I should be pointed at the first hoop, the first checkpoint in the list. And sure enough, if I just go forward, I see that there is one of the checkpoints. And now if you come over here, you can see I can actually go through that either direction. So that's based on the Fly Dangerous checkpoint model. In that game, there's no forced checkpoint order and checkpoint direction. Obviously, the course will naturally take you through a best checkpoint order, but in this case, that allows you to discover it yourself. Maybe you can try to figure out the fastest way to fly through all the hoops. And now I'm still looking over here. I got 4 more to go. There's one over there. But I gotta count for my momentum, so I can't just go straight for it. There they all are, right there. So, I don't know which way to go through them, but I'm gonna try to zig. Race finished. There we go. Okay, so just to cover all of the features again. So let's say now I want to go back and I just want to have my cylinders. I can restore existing objects, and here's where my problem is. If I return to the game, everything is gone, which doesn't always work that way. So I'm not sure. Let's try this again. Yeah. Alright, let me try it when it's not in racing mode. Alright, well, I closed it out. So I found the problem. Where there could be an issue. Let me see if it works this time. Just one time through. If I spawn them. So there they are. Now I'll store them. Then I'll spawn 5 of these. And sure enough, do I have them? I do. Okay. So then I'll go back in here. Nope. I have an error somewhere. Now there is nothing. Which is wild because when I had it last time, it didn't delete everything. So actually this could be somewhere where I changed the code after I had the problem and then didn't check to see what was going to happen. So maybe later today I'll fix that, but there you have it. That's the main changes to the random hoop generator. And Thank you very much.